Okay, so we're just going to do a couple of simple example of how to make fraction addition not complicated when you have denominators that have common factors. So for example, if we did something like 2 and 5/12 plus 10 and like 9/20, what I don't want you to do is just multiply 12 times 20 to get a common denominator, because it's too much work. Get the least common denominator. And so the way you do that is use the division ladder. That's a quick way. And just take out the common factors. So 4 goes into 12 and 20. So this is 3, and that's 5. Now the only common factor to 3 and 5 is 1. So once you're at that point, use that bottom of the left ladder times the top. 60 is your least common denominator. And so not only does the ladder give you the denominator, but it tells you how to get there. So you take the 20 and you multiply it by that 3. And you take the 12 and you multiply it by 5. So all that work in the ladder helps you get your common denominators, and there's no guesswork. It's quicker. So this gives you 2 and 25/60 plus 10 and 27/60. Now 25 and 27 add up to what? 52/60, and 2 and 10 add up to 12. So now we just have to check to make sure if we need to reduce or not.
Wait, so what do you do different than
So we made them the same. See how we started with 12 and 20? I used the ladder to get the common denominator. We'll do another practice one in a minute. Okay? So 60 and 52 both have 2 in common. So this is 26 and 30. Should I keep going?
Yeah.
Yes, 2, right? It's supposed to say divide. So that's 13/15. So my final answer, don't forget about the whole part, is 12 and 13/15. Okay? We're going to do another one. Okay, so the next one, let's just do another one like 6 and 9/12 plus 4 and 7/16. So, oh yeah, let's make it so you can't. How about 7/12? Good point. 6 and 7/12 plus 4 and 7/16. Okay? So I'm going to go to the ladder to find my least common denominator with the denominators that I have. So I'm taking 12 and 16 and I'm making a common denominator. 2 does. 2 goes into both of them. So 2 goes into 12 6 times, and it goes into 16 8 times. So again, 2, and you get 3 and 4. Now the only thing common to 3 and 4 is 1. So take the bottom of the ladder and times it by the top of the other side, and that's your denominator, 48. 12 times 4 is 48, and 16 times 3 is 48. So now you don't have to do 12 times 16, which is what some of you were doing on the pretest, even the people getting it right. But it was a lot of work. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to multiply 12 by what?
4.
So I have to multiply both of these by 4. So I get 6 and 28 48ths plus, now I have to multiply the 16s by what?
3.
By 3, and the 7 by 3, plus 4 and 21 over 48. Right? Right. So now I have the wholes add up to 10, and then the parts add up to 49 over 48. So when I have that's an improper fraction. So that's the same as 10 plus 48 goes into 49 one time, right? What's the remainder? 1. So that's 11 and 1 over 48. So that's two addition examples. Catherine?
Wouldn't 1 over 48 be a little bit big?
A little
Is
bit.
there some way to simplify it?
No.
Nope.
They has not 1 and 48 have only 1 in common. So that's as simplified as you can get. Okay? You don't get how I did the 1 over 48? Okay. So you got this part, right? No, you didn't get how I got the 48? Okay. So go back to the 12 and 16. I need a common denominator. I know that you guys have this habit of multiplying 12 times 16, but think about how big that number is. That's a giant denominator. So you don't want to do that for your denominator. You want to get the least common denominator. So put 12 and 16 in the division ladder. Okay? And then take out a common factor. Get all the common factors out of it. And so 2 goes into 12 and 16. Do you get that? Okay, so that brings us to this row, right? Because 12 divided by 2 is 6. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Now look again. 2 goes into 6 and 8. Okay? So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Nothing but 1 is common to 3 and 4. So we're at the bottom of the ladder. Now I'm going to take the bottom of my ladder, 3, and multiply it by the top of the other side. That's my smallest common denominator, 48. Okay? The ladder also tells me to get 48, I have to multiply the 16 by 3. So I have to then multiply the 7 by 3, because you have to do the same thing to the numerator and the denominator. That's how I got 21 over 48. The other side of the ladder tells me I have to multiply 4 by 12 to get 48. So over here I multiply 4 by 12, and I multiply the numerator by 4. Now I have 28 over 48 plus 21 over 48. Does that make sense? So 28 plus 21 make 49. Now I have an improper fraction because 49 is bigger than 48. So 49 over 48, that's the same thing as 1 and 1/48. Now I add the wholes together. 10 plus 1 is 11. Okay. So here's the subtraction with method. And you never have to borrow, ever. So this is really going to help some of you. Well, do an exchange. Does that sound familiar? Let me show you my suggestion before I go back to the old stuff. This is so much easier for 99.9% of the population. Yeah. Don't worry about it then. Then you don't even have to learn something new. I mean, change your strategy. Okay, watch. So I'm going to go to a new page because my page is crowded. Okay? So if I want to do a subtraction problem, like 12 and 3/5 take away 4 and 3/4. You got to watch really carefully. This is well, no. Just you got to give me a chance. I really want you to give me a chance before you tell me your old ways. Not that you can't use old ways, but I'm going to tell you what. If you had trouble with subtraction, this might make your life easier. If your subtraction took a long time, this is going to make it quicker. It's worth trying this. I want you to try this method. So here's my first step. No matter what, take the number that you're subtracting and round it up. To 5. Give me a chance. Round it up to 5 in your head. Okay? How much did I round up? I went up a fourth, right? So that means now I'm going to subtract 5 instead. But really what happened was by rounding up, I subtracted a fourth too much. More than I needed, right? Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but it's easy to do this. This is just 7 3/5, right?
Yeah.
So far, so good? But I took off a fourth too much, so what do you think I have to do? Add it back. That's going to give you the correct answer. So now I have to just get my common denominator, which is 20 in this case. So this is 7 12/20 plus 5/20, which is 7 17/20. Doesn't reduce. So I want you to think about it. How many people have borrowed before?
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Borrowing is so much more work, right? Don't write this in your notebook. But I want to show you guys. Or do you like this?
Yeah.
It's way better than borrowing. It works every time. Every time. So try one. Let's try one. You just always round up and then you add back. So I should write that down. You have to add back here the 1/4. So example 4. Let's just do another one. So if I have like 16 and let's say 2/5. And I'm going to subtract 9 and 5/6. Well, let's do, 5/6. Let's do 9 5/6. Okay? What's my first step? Yeah, Jackson.
You round 9 up to 10.
Round to 10. Which is 1/6 extra, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So round to 10. So 16 take away 10 is super easy. What's 16 take away 10? 6. So it's 6 2/5. But I took off too much. Shoda. Oh, if you always round up, then you never have to do a borrow. So it's just easier because you can kind of change every fraction problem to an addition. You're only going to add fractions now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a clean method. There's other methods, Shoda. I think this is probably a method that was really short for a lot of people. A lot less steps. So I rounded up a 6 too much. So what do I have to do, Catherine? Yeah, what's your question?
So that would have been, I wonder if it's 5 and higher.
No, we're not doing, it's not that kind of rounding. This is just to get to the next whole number. Always just go to the next whole number. So it's a different time, it's a different kind of rounding. So I'm gonna add back how much, Dominic? How much did I round up? How did I get from 9 and 5/6 to 10?
Um,
Yeah, it went up a 6. So I took a 6 off, too much, so I have to add back a 6.
so it's gonna be 7, 6.
No, because you now don't, you have to get common denominators, right? So my common denominator, since 5 and 6 only have 1 in common, you know, the latter, you have to multiply 5 by 6 and 6 by 5. 30, exactly. So 6 and 12/30ths plus 5/30ths,
Equals 6 and 30.
6 and 17/30ths. Okay? So I want you to try that tonight. Even if you're really good at the other method. Do you see how much shorter that is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop that.